Who's better, Jamaica or Africa?
Africa.
Yes! Suck that!
Food, everything, music.
Jamaica! I'm joking, Africa. Yes! Mother Africa!
Hold on. Brother, you see what up on my hip? Look like this. You see what up on my hip? Who's better, Jamaica or Africa?
Jamaica, man.
Big up yourself. You see? Jamaica straight. You see?
You know what?
But I love my Africa though, don't worry.
No.
Yeah, man, we love Africa. Who's better, Jamaica or Africa?
Jamaica.
You're African. You are demoted. He's a fake African. He's a fake African. This one, Africa or Jamaica?
Africa.
Yes! I will take it off right now.
Africa.
Yes!
No.
Yes!
No, you see what up on me?
Yes! Africa or Jamaica?
Africa.
Yes! Yes! We are African, bro. Yes! Africa. Oh, Africa. Tamina, waka.
Yes, hello guys, this is your boy Golden Boy, and you can see her. I'm really happy that you clicked on this video. Yes, so we want to talk about between the Africa and the Jamaicans, and as you can see, these guys are trying to compare Jamaicans and Africa. Now, how do you always take Africa? How do you take Africa? Do you take Africa as a country or as a continent? Now, I want to give you some of the things that you need to know as Africans. You need to know that Africa is not a country. It is a continent which consists of 54 countries. Initially, it had 53 countries until we were joined by one country here called South Sudan. Yes. So, before that, I want to give you something that you need to know that right before, you need to know that Africans, long time ago, long time ago, that some of the Africans were transported to Jamaica. Only if you do research, you'll find that Africans were transported to Jamaica as slave laborers. The original indigenous people were Taino Indian, people under the rule of Spain. Also, African culture and traditions are not consistent with Jamaican culture, tradition, or beliefs. But we can see that they are somehow similar. They are somehow similar. And additionally, reggae music is the movement which influenced by the Rastafari movement, which began in the 1930s with the coronation of El Selassie from Ethiopia. Now, I want you to listen very carefully on this lady who is trying to say that we had Jamaicans and Africans have somehow similarities. Yes, join me here and let's see you at the end of the video. Thank you for watching.
The love Africans have for Jamaicans, it's really spiritual, people. I know a lot of you are going to think that's crazy, but that is true. It's like you cannot convince an African at some point in their lives that Jamaica is not an African country. They will literally pull out pictures of Jamaicans and they'll say, yeah, and they are African. Then you'll say to them, okay, point where they are in Africa, and then they'll be all blank and they'll be traumatized when they discover that Jamaica is actually an island in the Caribbean. I was traumatized when I discovered that, so I'm talking from experience. So then my ancestors say to me, it's spiritual. The connection between Jamaicans and Africans is spiritual. That connection that broke between African Americans and Africans because of slavery did not break with Jamaicans. It remained like the cord, the umbilical cord between the Africans and the African Americans. It broke during slavery, but it did not break with the Jamaicans. It remained strong. They remained tagged into the source. So what was the reason? What is the reason that they were tagged into the source and remained tagged into the source? The women, they had very strong metaphysical scientists who were women, and they were like leading them. It's almost like one of their leaders, one of their very first leaders who did what she did. I think I remember her name. Wherever she was very metaphysically strong. She did rituals along with others which kept the cord, the umbilical cord, intact, because she thought one day they were going to be able to get on boats and go home, and she didn't want to lose that connection. Literally, yeah, I'm listening to them talking. Literally, that's why for Africans, Jamaica is in Africa. no matter what. It's a spiritual connection that has remained over hundreds of years and will remain for eternity. Isn't that fascinating? I think that's amazing. I think that's cool. And yes, I still think it's a travesty that Jamaica is not in Africa.
I think you have heard what this lady was trying to talk about. Now, if in the first video, I want us to talk about the Jamaicans and the Africans. Then we come to this second video. Now, the first video we want to talk about is that you need to know that most Jamaican slaves came from the region of modern day, like Ghana, Nigeria, and Central Africa. So, if you include like Akan, Ashanti, Yoruba, Igbo, and Ibibio people. Ibibio people, yeah. So this happened in the 18th century actually, and Jamaica became one of the most valuable British colonies. So Jamaica was colonized by the British colonies, yeah, which is somewhat similar with Kenya. And some of the people have been saying that we are trying to cloud chase, like they built their own country in Jamaica, and they were sold by our ancestors long time ago. They sold their lands in exchange of slavery. And the thing that you also need to know that the people who have maintained this relationship between Jamaicans and the Africans are the Caribbeans, and also we need to clap for them that they maintain this relationship and this thing for a long time. Now, when you go to Jamaicans, you'll find that most Jamaican slaves came from the region of like I said, they came from the region of Ghana, Nigeria, and even the Central Africa. Now, and Ghana and Jamaica refers to the bilateral relationship between Ghana and Jamaica because both nations are members of the United Nations. So, however, neither country has resident ambassador. Now, those are I need to tell you that those are the differences. Now, when you go to this sister's blog, you'll find that Jamaica is and Africans are surely connected to the dots. Like they are surely connected accurately. Like Jamaicans are transplant Africans and are away, ready and willing to go home to their motherland, that is Africa. And the same Africans are also willing to travel to Jamaica and to learn some of the cultures. Now, Africa is calling our children to come home, like it's calling most of the people, like the Black Americans, African Americans, African Jamaicans. All those people are being called to come back home to visit. Yes, those are the things that happened long time ago, and we also need to forget them. But also, you need to come and visit home, see the home of peacefulness. So, if you do, we do many things such as cooking, the way our grandparents and grandparents taught us, like. We and Jamaicans, we are almost common. We have common cultures, common heritage. Like Jamaicans are worshipping, are having churches actually. I came to realize that Jamaicans have many churches. The same way to Africans, most of the African continent. So you can believe that could say a lot. But if you come deep down to the countries, you will see that Africa and Jamaica are similar. The only thing that is differing us is that Poita's language. Now, as a Kenyan person, I must say that the effort this lady tried to give to explain this, the unbroken bond so-called Jamaicans to their ancestral land, Africa. There was slavery in Jamaica too, but there is much deeper reason why we are so different in characters from Africa in the state and the rest of the Caribbeans. Now, I can't go away and give you much of the details, but I would love to serve you that these are the true insight this lady gave out. Now, let me fill these gaps here, where we stopped by along in the line before the slaves reached the final destination, that is America. So the indoctrination took place to break their spirits, minds, and souls with the torture and torment until they submitted and was surrounded in the foreign land. Jamaica and Caribbean island were stopping points. Yes, long time ago there was something that we believe some of the slaveries were being taken to to go and do some of the labors in other parts of the continent. And they believe that Jamaica and Caribbean were the major stopping points. And that's how Jamaica and Caribbean came to be, and that's how their population grew. Now, they somehow managed to fight and keep their heritage, tradition, and respect. But once we touched ground in the America, the souls were tormented, caged, lost, and stripped of all outcomes, outward expressions, connections to the motherland of Africa. So the land of Africa and the lost children are being called to heal the ancestral line, repair the ancestral tree. This is what is coming to senses, and I think it is making some of the senses here. Now we need to stop this bias of who is greater, who is better than the other, Africa or Jamaica. We need to stop that BS. Like, we as Africans, we are trying to call you back home to come and join us in this, to come and join this peace we are having here. I time the African leaders to stop this talk. Yes, like where and we need to start this correction, because if we have unity, the only thing that is giving us is making us getting separated between these two continents is unity. We are not united, we are divided. Actually, you'll find that even my previous videos I did, you'll find that there's someone who's talking about there's a lot of division. Like, why is it that there is no direct flight from Jamaica to African countries? Now, I just wish that the African leaders can get the act together for the unity of Africa, because we are very, very strong as one if we get united. Now, African leaders, listen to your people around the world. Yes, Kenya leader, Tanzanian leader, Ugandan leader, Cameroon, and all others. Like, even this is something that Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was talking about. Like, it needs to become a reality. We need to come together, because the time to unite is really, really now. We need to fulfill these wishes of these dreams of Kwame Nkrumah, this president of Tanzania, and many, many leaders who died in fighting for the Africans and for Africans. Like I say, the time is really, really now, because let us all try hard to work together for the good of our people, so that they can shy away from this trying to get the European through the Mediterranean Sea, looking for a greener pasture that is not even guaranteed. Like, most of the Africans, most of the Jamaicans are moving to other countries in looking of jobs, looking of better life there. But at the end of the day, they get tortured. Like actually, I also found that most of the Indians are right now trying to get away rights of most of the Africans. Now, you'll find that most of the Africans or most of the Jamaicans are moving to other countries to fight for pastures, but they get there and they get eliminated. And you know what elimination is? Like, you get tortured because of what our leaders are trying to do. They have failed us. So African missionaries trying to remove us from the Eden that is America. I see target the island because, you know, in America, you can see through the BS, and to come to America with that BS and see how we respond to you and give you places where the bleaching epidemic become to a place where we love ourselves so much that the black sheep of the globe come to America. I hope I run this to you and I give you a real deal response and tell you the same truth about shaming the devil. Now, why Africa is really, really cursed? Why do you think? Do you think Africa is really is like a cursed continent? Like there are no good things and bad things, or there are no positive things and good things in Africa. This is how most of the Africans have been told. Like, now I want to give you what Peter Tosh talked about. Like, he said that no matter where you come from, as long as you are black, you are from Africa. Now, that is Peter Tosh talking. We go to Bob Marley said that Africa unite brothers and sisters. Get up, stand together, love one another, peace and love. Jamaica to the world, I'm sending some of the movement. So after his visit to Jamaica, there is something that happened. I want to give you a story about El Selassie. Now, El Selassie wasn't even a Rastafarian actually, but the name of the movement was taken from his name, which is Rastafari, which the name Ras was basically a title in Ethiopia for the important people. Before that, I want to tell you that a long time ago, Africa was not even called Africa. It was called Ethiopia. Now, after his 1930 crowning emperor, he got the name El Selassie, which means power of the Trinity. He was devoted Christian of the Ethiopia Orthodox Church, which is the oldest form of Christian in the world. Like even right now, they are really practicing the Orthodox method. So he never really supported the Rastafarians movement. So after his visit to Jamaica, he sent an Orthodox priest to Jamaica to start up the church. He was staying at Bob Marley's house at the time and was responsible for his baptism in the Orthodox faith and his funeral processions. Yes, that's how it was. That the movement, as he was the responsible for his baptism in the Orthodox faith and his funeral procession. This is something that is not really bad, but I need you to know that you need to do a lot of research about how Jamaica came out and how it is really relating to Africans. Like most of the people have always believed that this name Rastafari actually came from Jamaica, and we as Africans, we usually believe that the reggae music started from Jamaica. And we also need to do a lot of research, but by saying that a lot of things started from Africa. Now, Africa is the birth of many things, including even the technology, including most of the things you need to see here. And that's why you'll find that most of the Jamaicans are trying to move to Africa. Most of the black people are trying to move back to their motherland. And what do you know what they're trying to do? They're trying to separate us. Actually, Africa has 54 continents. You can imagine if Africa has 54 continents, then you can imagine the vastness of this continent. It is very huge. Very huge, with huge land, huge waters, huge natural resources. And the only thing that we need here is we get united. Yes, I hope I answered most of the questions in this video. And is there any question here? Yeah. One is that Jamaica is not in Africa. Jamaica is not in what? In Africa, it is in Caribbean. To those people who have been asking like, Africa, Jamaica is in Africa. I've been looking in the maps. Actually, even me, I was looking for Jamaica in African maps, but I never found it. I've been searching for it. Because we have somehow similarities between Jamaica and Africa. Thank you for watching this video, yes. And I'm really appreciative that you have always watched my videos. You have always commented, liked, and shared. Thank you. See you in another episode.